Cool.
Welcome back to the Militia Madness MTG Militia gameplay series. Although if you...
MTG TMNT week!
Yep. So, as usual, and setting the precedent, I think we're probably going to do this for every set that comes out that has uncommon legendary creatures. I think we skipped Lorwyn Eclipse because they just didn't.
Yeah, it was very light.
There were... I don't know if there were any uncommon legendary creatures.
I don't think there were, actually. But...
Yeah, so every set that has uncommon legendary creatures, we will be playing an uncommon legendary creature from that set.
Yeah, which is mostly Universes Beyond. We did get a bunch for, like, Edge of Eternities.
Mm-hmm. And we would have played it, but this channel didn't exist then, and we kind of started getting our groove. Like, by the time we started posting videos, Edge of Eternity was kind of old news. So, we missed it. Today, I'm playing the Neutrinos. This is a version of a Pauper deck that was like one of the first meta Pauper decks I ever played. The first Pauper deck I ever played and loved playing was Grixis Teachings, but that was never that good. It was kind of like a tier 2, tier 3 thing, but like I just like playing it, so I played it. But one of the decks that was really, really good when I first started and then continued to be good and then got phased out by like call gates was Boros Bully. Which operated on the axis of all of my cards are just more efficient and better at any game plan than yours is. This mid-range, aggressively slanted mid-range deck that put creatures into play, attacked you, and remove the things that mattered. Neutrinos is a very, very good card, and it does a couple of different things. It's a 4-mana 2/4 with flying, and the Alliance ability... their Alliance, I believe, is just shortcut for whenever another creature enters the battlefield.
Yes.
Do a thing. Popular people might remember it from Gala Greeters is probably one of the more impactful Alliance cards that has ever been played. But is Alliance triggers, it gets +1/+7 until end of turn. But they also have an ability that when they attack, you exile up to one target creature you own, then return to the battlefield under your control, tap and attack it. So it's really, really cool. It's not control, it's own. So sometimes you can, like, if they, like, steal a guy or whatever, you can, like, do this and, like, get your guy back and attack with it, which is kind of cool. But the other thing this does is it resets, excuse me, it resets ETBs. So you can play a creature. It also kind of gives creatures haste in a weird way. Because you can play a creature, attack with this, exile the creature that just came into play, and now it's tapped and attacking, and you get its ETB twice. To accompany that, we have a couple of tutors. I'll talk about the tutors that we have in the deck first. Well, I'll talk about these two tutors first, and then their packages. Because the other tutor package is different. So, He That's Pokemon Goblin Matron are just ways to break Singleton. I find that tutors in this format are just very, very good for that reason. It allows you to get a little bit more consistency than any other decks without having to run multiple of the same effect and get into that tier 2. Of the same effect. I don't have to do that. I just play the best auras and this, and then with this, I get access to both of them, necessarily. And then Goblin Matron's just cool. I love this card. And then the Heliod's Pilgrim package is main deck, just a Cooped Up and a Madcap skills, something defensive and something offensive. And then I was like, dope. I have some more tools in the sideboard when I need to bring them in. But again, this is a 1/2. This is not really something that you want to give haste to. You can, that's why I have 2 targets, so there are some gameplays where you can play this, get an Alliance trigger, attack, get the other guy, and you still get to draw the 2 cards, but in general, I felt that 2 targets was perfectly fine in the main deck. Maybe 3 or 4 if you wanted to, but that was it. For the Goblin Matron target, we're on a lot more because they're just a lot more proactive and better. Like, if you have no creatures, then these don't do anything, but so we have a Tarfire, which is just a shock that's tutorable off of the Goblin Matron. We have a Sting Scourger, which is awesome. This card is a 2-mana Mana War. And with this, it bounces 2 guys. Very, very good. You do have to pay Echo. You're almost never paying Echo. A lot of the times, in testing at least, you would find this off of Goblin Matron, play it off of Goblin Matron, bounce one thing, attack with Neutrinos, bounce another thing, and then they just die. So, bouncing 2 of their blockers is just very, very good. Goblin Legionnaire. This is a pet card, but I wanted another Tarfire effect that Goblin Matron could go and find burn to just close the game out a little bit. I also wanted another 2-drop for Goblin Matron to go find on turn 5. Because you can curve into like this in turn 4, and then Goblin Matron on turn 5, attack with this, and then flicker the Goblin Matron, and then you get 2 2-drops, and you get Decision to Make, which is nice. So this is just kind of the other 2-drop. The other thing is that I'm on more basics than not. So having red and white untapped on turn 2 is easier in this deck than others, so I figured I could play another red, white, gold card. But those of you who don't know what this is, which I assume is most of you, red, white for a 2/2. You can pay a red, it shocks something, or you can pay a white and it prevents 2 damage from something. Both are creature or player. So it's not just a 2-mana fog. It's like if they're going to kill your neutrinos, you can fog it. So you don't do that often, but it is a thing you can do. Conduit Goblin, again, the 3rd 2-mana card. This is mostly for numbers, but it is very, very good. If you draw it outside of the Goblin Matron, it can give your guy haste, which is very, very good. Avian Changeling and Changeling Wanderer, Wayfinder, these are just 3-drops. They're not great. You might want to play other goblins, but the other goblins really kind of suck. Like, outside of a goblin deck, they're not great. So I'm playing the best goblins that I have in a more mid-rangey version, and then I wanted to play a couple of 3-drops. This is also searchable off of... These are both also searchable off of your 3rd tutor package. And this is not enough goblins to be playing Goblin Grenade. So that's why I'm not playing Goblin Grenade. The 3rd tutor package is the Rebels. You saw, I believe, these 2 last week in the Jeskai version, but now I don't have to play weird cards or combo cards, so I can show off what these Rebels can do in full potential. And really, they're all just armies in a can. So these are the Rebels that tutor. I'm going to put them all on the screen right now. And then, you can read them. You can do whatever you want. But these are your tutors. And these are the Rebels that you go get. You can get Freedom Fighter Recruit, who is just an X2, where X is the number of creatures you control. You have a lot of creatures. Jong Deserters, which is a 1/2 that puts a counter on something. Counter your commander is pretty decent. You can get Bound in Silence, which is just a removal spell. And then the other Rebel you can get is Aven Riftwatcher. This card is nuts. It is insane with your commander. It means every single turn for the rest of the game, as long as they can't kill this, you gain 4 life. Because it will always leave and come back, which triggers itself twice. These are your targets. Also, sometimes to deck thin, these can go through each other until you get through this, and then it's just like, less cards in your deck. Bound in Silence also is searchable off of Heliod's Pilgrim if you need to do that later in the game. Monarch package, because we can flicker stuff in our command zone, so we can always kind of have a standing chance of fighting in that Monarch war. So, which is where you need to be if you're main decking these. You need to have in mind, what am I doing in the back and forth games with Monarch? If you're putting them in the main deck. And if you're good at fighting that, put them in. You've typically seen this at the sideboard of was it in the sideboard of your deck last week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm assuming the mentality there is game 1, I'm not necessarily prepared to fight this Monarch war, but in game 2...
Well, it's like if I'm playing against a control deck, etc. They fight it less good.
Yeah.
I can hold back the couple of threats they put down.
Yeah. Which is why we sideboard them a lot of times, because it's like, even we might be okay with this, but I don't want to, bring them in against stuff. It's a white deck, and I built it, so we're on Core Skyfisher package, but I took out Spirited Companion and Rafine's Informant, rather, to play April O'Neil. This is really just a test. I don't think she's strictly better than Rafine's Informant, but the awkward part of Rafine's Informant, in my opinion, is discarding a card is sometimes not good. And that's what it does. And sometimes you're put in a position where it's not a 3-2, it's just a 2-1 or whatever it is. It doesn't get the counter because you have to discard a land and stuff like this. This doesn't do that. It's harder to block, and also scrying 2 sometimes makes you hit land drops or hit good cards more than just drawing and discarding a card would. So that's that. Also Militia Bugler. I don't think I've ever missed this. I mean, knock on wood, but I don't think I've ever missed a Militia Bugler trigger in this deck in playtesting. You're just on so many creatures. And I think Crimson Fleet Commodore is like the only card in my main deck that it doesn't hit. Or my my Mana Cyclers as well. Core Skyfisher and Exosuit Savior. More Core Skyfisher effects. You could play Aviary Mechanic if you value the one less mana, but for one more mana, I valued the word flying. Also, the word may is another thing. That's really good. We're on 2/1s or 2/2. We want to come out aggressive. So this gives you up to a critical mass of 1-drops because you can include the Rebel. As well as the Inspectors. So it gets you up to just 6 1-mana cards that you can play on 1, be fine on 1, and attack on 2. So these really just provide you the numbers of 1-drops. Interesting thing we were talking about when setting up, this Warship Scout, the way that my mana is made up, I do think this should probably be a Savannah Lions, because white on turn 1 is very easy to come by. But the problem with that is my burn spells are all red. So my mana is a little conflicted. We do have another 1-drop in Gideon's Lawkeeper, which is just like a value creature. Just really, really good in certain matchups. Locking down like a big dumb green idiot or something is good, or just sometimes when you're in a race with Neutrinos, just being able to do that, or it helps fight back for the Monarchy, or it's just having one of this is just like a really decent thing. Steadfast Unicorn, this is how we win games, honestly, is like Steadfast Unicorn, Summon Chocomog, and then your White Man Cycler. Is how like games just get out of control ridiculously quickly. This ability to just give +1/+1 in Vigilance is nuts. It means that when you're racing, you're not racing. You're just killing them. So that one's obvious. These are a little bit less obvious about how you kill people. Like, +1/+1, that doesn't seem that good. Yeah, what about +4/+4? Because that's what it amounts to one guy. If you cast Summon Chocomog, it gets a counter. This gets +2/+2. You attack. You gave your Summon Chocomog haste. All your other creatures have +2/+2, and this has +4/+0.
This isn't an ETB effect, my guy.
No, but when it enters, it gets a Saga counter.
Yeah.
So it's still in Chapter 1, which triggers it again.
It's not a trick. That's a static ability. That's not.
Oh, okay. Well, it works with this one. I thought it like when the Saga counter went on.
No.
Okay. Cool. I'm wrong. But it works with Eagles of the North. Basically, just your board gets huge and.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I read that wrong too. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. I am right. I thought I was right. Because it's a trigger when
Yeah, I didn't notice it said until end of turn. I just thought it did that the whole time.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay.
You can cut that out if you want somehow.
Yeah, it's funnier. Plus, I'd have to like redo the whole talking. I'm not gonna do that. So both of these just anthem your board +2/+0 in this one, and +2/+0 for both of them.
I think I'm thinking of the green one. That one's a static ability, which gives things trample
It
constantly.
just gives things trample.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're also on the other Mana Cycler. It doesn't like do, whenever it attacks, but this makes it tender tap and attacking, so you don't get that trigger twice, which is unfortunate. You do get it once, so you can like give it haste, and then whatever. But we're just on it because we want to hit mana drops. But yep, those are like how you win games. It's absurd. In terms of removal, we have Journey to Nowhere, because I think it's the best white removal spell in our format.
Oh yeah,
so we got that. And then a bunch of burn. Chain Lightning, Burst Lightning, Weird Lightning Bolt Art, Incinerate, Searing Spear, and Lightning Strike.
But you got the name of it wrong. That's the Rum of the Vestige.
No, it's Lightning Bolt. It says it right there. But its real name is there. That brings up a good point. If you like Pithing Needle something, I think it's
always the real name.
Yeah, it checks the real name, not the. So if you named like.
It'll be Caracas and not the White Tower of whatever.
Yeah, Einfeld, big weirdo face or whatever. Yeah, so these are like stable burn spells. You've heard us talk about these to death in the podcast. They were my spotlight card for 1 week, which also brings me a point. You're gonna see a spotlight a podcast that doesn't have a spotlight at one point. Freaking thing was an hour long. It's fine. We can go back and add it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So yeah, these are just burn spells that remove creatures and hit face. Rally the Peasants is the last non-land card in our deck. I think this card's just really, really good. It's one of the better anthems because you can do it twice, which is why it's the only anthem that I'm playing that isn't a creature. Dual lands. It's raining now. Yeah. We are playing the 2 dual lands with actual land types, so our mana fixers can go get them. And then I wanted one more, and I went with the one that can draw a card. That's about it. This slot is very flexible. Yeah. I just went with it because I went with it over the Surveil one because my deck is very cheap and I can afford to go down a land to like try to draw a burn spell to kill someone or something. Hidden lands. These cards are awesome. As you'll know, there's a lot of permanents in my deck. A lot of creatures in my deck. These hit those. There's actually only 2 cards that they don't hit, which are your mana cyclers. Apart from that, everything is able to be put into play over these hidden lands. Because it discovers 4. Which is nice. And then lands. Basic lands.
And it can play your non-lands. Or your non-creatures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just saying like it doesn't hit them. No,
it just doesn't hit the lands. It skips over everything other than the other than these.
Yeah.
Can't put these into play, but it can put anything else into play. So I just had a lot of targets and also a lot of room.
Yeah.
Right. Like I knew I wanted to be on 12 basics, and was like, do I really need? Like, what's the difference between 12 and 14? Not that much. So I got to play these for free. But these are very cuttable if you want to just play like that. That'd be fine too. I don't think you're going to make that much of a difference. I was just like, I like these lands. I never get to play these lands. I'm going to play these lands.
Understandable.
Sideboard. Pretty obvious. I have these. Blue decks. Relic of Progenitus. Graveyard decks. Prismatic Strands. Aggressive decks that, like, when you're in a racing situation, this card is such a blowout. Because it's like, oh, we're racing? No, we're not. You lose. Die. Guardian of the Guild Pact. Remember that racing scenario? Good in that scenario, too. Also, when decks want to play the Monarch War, then they don't get to anymore. I have 2 more. I said I had more auras in the sideboard for the Heliod's Pilgrim. I have 2 more removal spells in the sideboard. This is also a protection spell sometimes, but you're really only bringing these in for the removal spells because a lot of the control decks that want to like kill all your creatures, you just have more. You just overwhelm their removal a lot of the times. That they just, the fact that this protects something, it doesn't matter. Thunder Magic. This comes in when you need to kill big creatures, not small creatures. Because you're not really well equipped apart from the Journey into Nowhere in the main deck to do that. Apart from like a kicked Burst Lightning, maybe. But apart from that, it's like, if it's a 4/4, it's a 2-for-1, one way or the other main deck. So, Fang Flames, I don't want to die to Guardian of the Guild Pact. Essentially. Thraben Charm and Destroy Evil are just like the most versatile white removal spells that I can bring in when I want to bring in removal spells that they're not expecting. A lot of the times they'll like start to play around red removal and get blown up by one of these. Crib Swap is an interesting one. So this is searchable off of Goblin Matron, and it's a like a hard removal, like whatever that is, get it out of here. Removal spell that you can find off of Goblin Matron. So when you need to have like a hard removal spell, like maybe I will against bigger stuff, you bring that in. Cast into Fire is the. I find that I don't really have probs with token decks, so you're not going to see Tectonic Hazard or Electric or anything like that in this deck, because I feel like I can almost play creatures at the same time as them, and sure, I'll get, like, if they want to pump up and go for the kill on one turn, I'm going to take some damage, but then, like, they're going to lose a board and whatever, but it's also my anti-artifact card choice. Because I didn't really like the versatility of Abrade, because I have so much that I have so many Abrade effects, that if I want something, I want the versatility of what Abrade's doing with something that I can't already do, which is Pain Guys. Oblivion Ring. just a very, very versatile removal. I'm playing less artifact and enchantment removal because I'm more relying on Oblivion Ring to pick that up. Again, Morgan, I think, said it a couple weeks ago, like versatility, right? Like versatility is very, very good. And then I'm on Mind Collapse. Honestly, I just wanted to try this card out. I've not put in a lot of sideboards, but I thought it'd be okay here because the main deck is really, really good at killing small creatures. Very, very hard to kill big creatures. I want to be set up to win the aggro races in the main deck, but I want a lot of answers to bigger stuff in the sideboard. So you'll notice that that's kind of what I'm doing with the sideboard, you know. This and this and these and this and this. I have a package of ways to just deal with bigger creatures in the sideboard. That's it. That's Boros Bully or Boros Neutrinos. Catch us playing the gameplay on Friday. Check Morgan's deck tech on Wednesday. And let us know. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to see. Like, comment, subscribe, and join the Discord. Signing out.